Social media is one of the greatest ways that you can actually drive influence and business to your business today. But are you a business owner that when you send your social profile over to a potential client that you just feel like you're getting ghosted? But what if I tell you that they're not ghosting you because of the work that you do? They're actually ghosting you based off the things that they see on your social profiles, whether it be posts, whether it be different words that you're using, or whether it be some videos that they found out there with you. I have been hired by the Atlanta Falcons, work with the Atlanta Braves, work with big brands such as Home Depot and Lowe's. And I could tell you the one thing that they're actually going to do outside of the fact of trying to see can you do the work is to see who is this person and are they a person that we want to bring around their staff? And if it's an entrepreneur, are you the person that they want to bring around their family? In this video, I'm going to be giving you guys my 4-step framework to help you look at your social profiles. So the next time you send your social profile over to a potential client, that you're not going to get ghosted, but you're going to get booked. Let's get into it. So what I want to go ahead and share with you guys today is my 4-step framework of how to help you guys with your social media profiles. And again, this is kind of like a cleanup phase, and it's called the SCAT method. And that SCAT method is 4 steps. And 1, it is to stop. Number 2 is to consider. Number 3 is to assess. And number 4 is to transform. I'm going to go through all this framework right now to help you, because again, what happens is clients, and I've been through this as well, what clients do outside of the fact of them looking at the work that you've done, they start scrolling back to see if there's anything out there that's a potential liability to them. It's a potential thing that they don't really want to be attached to. Are you saying polarizing things out there? Are you having extracurricular activities on your business profile? Or if you don't have a business profile, are you having some extracurricular activities or things that you're into that's not business related on your personal profile when they start clicking on there? Now, the one thing I just want to start with is saying is that I'm not explaining you all to open up your public profile and, just be to the fact that you're hiding who you actually are. I'm not saying that. And I'm also saying that we want you to be authentic and true to who you actually are. But you have to take into consideration that if you're dealing with a large corporation or potential client like an entrepreneur, what are they seeing? What are their values, and do you align with those values? Because one thing you don't want to do either is get involved with a client that's not within your values. You wouldn't want to do that either, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just be writing things down on my iPad because I want to show some illustrations for you all so you guys can get into this framework. Because again, this is something that helped me once I was told by a client before, and they say, hey, we would really like to hire you. We love the work that you do, but what is this over here? What is that about? Because believe it or not, they will dismiss you before they even meet you. And you could have the nicest personality. You could be the best person. You could be the best dressed out there. You could be the top talent that they actually need. But if there's something in there that they're kind of fishy about, they're not even going to take the next step. They're just going to move on. Because again, with photography and videography or, creative services, there are 1,000,001 of us out there. But what makes you stand out and be unique is what they want. But again, they don't want to find something that they shouldn't have. So number 1 in the SCAT method is to stop. Now, the stop, it is basically exactly what that is. This is to stop posting, stop doing anything, stop scrolling. I want you to stop consuming. I just need you to stop doing it. Okay. Because right now is going to be the process to where you're going to start cleaning things up. And in order for you to clean things up, you can't keep going forward. You got to have to stop for just a sec and let's clean up the things that we have. I want you to go back into your profile and just start thinking like, hey, there's some things inside here that I may not want a potential client to see, or, has this happened to me before? Am I qualified? Am I finding that the people or the job that I was going for and the individual that they actually hired, am I better than them? What makes them any different? So right now in the SCAT method, as far as the first step is to stop. I just need you to stop it all. Just stop. And when you do stop, I want you to take a breath. I want you to take a breath and just say, hey, today defines the moment where I'm going to change things up for my profile. Maybe no one has told me this before. Maybe this is the first time I'm hearing of this. I never knew clients actually go into your social profile, even if it's a personal profile, to try to figure out who you are. I got a story to tell about this, and this is regarding me when I was working at a church. And the one thing that the pastor came up to me when they were considering bringing me on for like a media position was like, wow, I saw all the things that you posted about your family, and I really love this post that you did. And I'm like, how did you know that? Again, they're just checking to make sure. The same thing actually happened with a client that I was working with, and this was outside of the church, where they just said, oh my God, I really love the post of you and your wife when you actually took her out and you guys were at the restaurant. I really love the fact of when you and your family went out here and you guys enjoyed your time out of the country. I'm sitting to myself, I sent you guys a portfolio. I sent you guys all the links. Yes, it did have my social profiles on there, but I had no idea that they were actually going to go and dig deep into my social profiles and try to figure out exactly who I was. But it's a lucky thing that my things were cleaned up because, again, I'm in the business to do business. So anybody can search for you, anybody can find your name out there, and anybody can actually go into your different posts or go into your timeline and just see what you're talking about. So number one, it is to stop. That is number one in the SCAT method. It is to stop. Now, number two is to consider. And don't mind my handwriting here. I'm not the best at handwriting. I could type. But number two is to consider. What I want you to do is really just take into consideration the people inside your industry. This could be other photographers. It could be other videographers. It could be other graphic designers. It could be other event professionals. It could be anything. I want you to take into consideration who they are that are closest to you to exactly where your skill level is. Now, I don't want you to start comparing yourself with them. I'm not saying that at all. This is not a comparison game. It has nothing to do with that whatsoever. This is really just to consider what they are doing and consider their profile. What is different about theirs than mine? Is there something that they're doing more of that I can be doing more of? Or is there something on there that they don't have versus I do have that may be questionable? And when I mean questionable, I'll use a pure example here. A gentleman came up to me asking me, hey, I really want to be able to shadow you, kind of go out there and learn the ropes with you and just kind of see, how did you get to where you're at? How are you being able to be flown out of town and, do these different things for all these different corporations, all these clients and do these cool gigs and such? And I was like, yeah, that's no problem. Hey, I was on an event. So I said, hey, here's what you do. Just shoot me an Instagram or here, just go ahead and let me get your Instagram information. And from there, I'll reach out. I could DM you or just DM me. So the minute I got a break during the event, because we parted ways from that point, I think he moved on after that point. He went away. But I had the opportunity during a break to just, hey, let me pull up his social profile because I wanted to be intentional to make sure that I was reaching out to this gentleman as well. But when I start out, the minute I opened up, I see, oh my gosh, he has some banging work. This work is amazing. But then I scrolled, just one scroll in, and I started seeing some different things. I thought it was a music video, but it was actually him, unfortunately, out with his friends, and he was cursing up a storm. And yet again, hey, if you curse, I'm not judging you. This is not being judgmental at all, but he was cursing up a storm. He was smoking, smoking some weed, doing all kind of stuff. And if you smoke weed, hey, I'm not hating on you. I'm just letting you know, as far as what I've seen. And then also the thing when we met, he was explaining, like, I've been trying to get on with clients. I've been DMing them, but I really haven't heard anything back. And outside the fact that on his portfolio, what he was going for was completely different than what he had posted. But when you scroll just a little bit and start seeing the different things, because he was using it as a personal thing as well, and venting and going off on people and letting people know his mind. And that's okay to do if you want to share your truth. But if you're in the process of trying to get clients, or you want clients to look at your profile, that's probably not something that you want out there. So that's the first thing I saw, and I was like, ugh, I don't know if I could take this gentleman on the road with me. I don't know if I could take this gentleman to a wedding, or I could take this gentleman around the clients that I deal with, because he's questionable. Even though it's really great meeting him in person, but is this truly who you are once you scroll down your social profile? A lot of things we have to consider is that your social profile sits out there. It is you when you're not around. It is kind of like your marketing mechanism when you're not there to say what you do and who you are. It's always out there. The videos will always live out there. Do you remember? I'm not too sure you guys' age, but I will tell you right now, if you ever remember anyone telling you anything, is let's say when you post something, it's out there forever. Once you hit send, it's out there. I tell this to my teenage son all the time. It's like, hey, if you send something to someone, guess what? They could screenshot it and they have it forever. So that's one thing you want to really consider when it comes down to your social profile. So that is number two in the SCAT method. It is to consider. I want you to consider who is in your industry or in your circle that you could say there's competition. Don't want you to judge yourself, and I don't want you to compare yourself, but just consider to see what they're doing. Now, number three is to assess. Yes, to assess. Now I want you to go back into your profile. I want you to pull up all the posts that you have, go as far back as possible. Keep scrolling till you get to the end. If you started in, 2010 or 2015, I want you to go all the way back down to 2015. Is there anything on there that you're kind of wondering, like, I don't think this has anything to do with the business that I am in. Is it some partying, photos that you have out there when you had spring break, or when you're at a bar, doing a chug competition? Or is there anything out there that you would just make a potential client just wonder? Let's say, for instance, take this in consideration. If you want to be a photographer for a school, you're going to be doing all their yearbook photos. Or if they scroll back, or the principal of the school or the superintendent of that school system scrolls back and, figure out who you are, especially if you just transferred your business into your personal IG account or LinkedIn, or whatever the case may be, you had that in there and they start seeing the kind of things that you had out there. Is that something that you really want to be seen? Or would they even have the idea of saying, hey, we checked everything and everything looks legit to us, so we're going to basically go ahead and bring them on? Or is it going to be more of the lines of them saying, hey, I love his work, I love his portfolio, but this person is not the person for us based on the values that we have. So I want you to go back and check that out. I want you to really just have a magnifying glass and look at all the posts that you have, and are they in alignment with what you want to be out there, which portrays you as a business owner? I want you to really check that out. From there, I want you to delete them. Literally delete them, mark them private. Just start curating your feed or the posts that you have when you're always expecting somebody to look at it, especially if you're serious about the business that you're doing, especially even if you have it as a side hustle, things that you're sending to people side by side, like, hey, here's my Instagram account. I want you to check out my work, not just the first, 3 lines. I want you to be able to scroll way back. And if they see your process as far as when you first getting started, that's okay. But if there's something that's questionable on there, I want you to assess to see, is this something I really want out there? And is this something that's really representing who I actually am? Because when I'm in person, when you meet me, it's game time. we're out here to, take photos, and we're going to grab some videos, and we're going to have some brand strategies. But I want to make sure that I pass that hurdle before, they have the opportunity to dismiss me before they even get to know me. So that's number 3 inside the SCAT method. Number 4 is to transform. Oh, yes. Transform. I'm going to underline that. Transform comes from you then taking your profile, the profile that you considered, and start morphing that into exactly who you want to be portrayed as far as for your business. If your business is about brand management, if your business is about photo and video, the posts that you should have on there should be showing that thing. It should be showing you out in the field. It should be showing the behind the scenes. It should be showing that you are the content. Of course, you're going to have things in there as far as like your family and such, especially if you love them and they support you. Of course, that's absolutely fine. Definitely put them in there. But if there's something that's extremely polarizing, is it turning clients off? And again, I know I said this at the top of this video, is that we're not trying in any way, shape, form, or fashion to minimize who you are, because you are who you are. But is this dismissing you before it even gets to the point where somebody can actually get to know you? Come on, bro. Like, I know who you are in person, but are you that person that they see online? Or is it just kind of say like, this dude is a risk and we want nothing to do with him? Because again, they search this, companies search this, and this is something that they consider when they're in the board meeting. If they're considering your quote and they have your quote up on the teleprompter and everybody is inside there to make the decision, and they're kind of going through things, they're vetting you. They're trying to vet to see, okay, the price is good, deliverables are good, what he's saying as far as what he said he's going to do as far as the timeline looks amazing, but let me figure out who this person is, because he's probably going to be around our organization for like the next 2 to 3 months. Can we leave him alone inside the room here with the things that we have? Are his comments going to be something that's disruptive to our quiet organization? Or honestly, if they go through your profile and they see, hey, this person is great and all, but he doesn't fit our profile because our organization is wild and bold, but the post that you have may not be about that, but that's good for you because this is what you want to portray. Now, if you had some videos on there where you're going wild and crazy, now you're in this organization, you're no longer like that, then there's a disconnect. That's not something you want to do. So that's the number one thing that you want to make sure that you do as far as in the transform method, is start transforming your profile exactly who you want to be when you're not around to say exactly who you are. So the last thing inside the SCAT method is going to be the transform. And again, you're taking your profiles across the board, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever the case may be, you're taking your profile and you're transforming it into who you want to be or who who you want represented when you're not there to discuss or to talk or to say what it is that you do. So they can really get to know you, a deep dive into knowing you without you having to say a word, without them having to pick up the phone, without them having to text you to figure out, hey, what would you do in this situation? Your profile represents that. I can tell you right now that on my profile, a lot of the things that I post right now are the behind the scenes. It's me on the call with clients. It's me, troubleshooting through different things. It's me having production meetings with clients, because my clients to know what they can expect when they get me on the line, where it's not going to change. And that lives on my social profiles, because that's the proof of saying that, hey, this guy said he does podcasts. This guy said he does photo and video. So we can actually hear him talking with a potential client or with a client he already has about something that they're going to do, or how they're going to set things up, or if it's in a wedding game, or how they're going to hang the dress, and how they're going to photograph these things. But it's not to the point where they're just looking at videos wondering, okay, why is this here? And this does not represent exactly what this business does. This is something completely different. So finally, what I wanted to go ahead and do is recap exactly what we talked about. And it is the SCAT method. It's my 4-step framework as far as to clean up your social profiles, to make sure that when you send it out to a potential client, they're not just ghosting you based off the fact that the things that you have on there is not lining up. So again, we talked about the stop. The S in SCAT is to stop. I want you to stop posting. I want you to stop scrolling. I just want you to stop, take a deep breath, and just mark this day moving forward as the day that you're going to change things up on your profile. Number 2 is to consider. Go into the different accounts for the people that's in your industry and just consider what they're doing. I want you to consider their posts, consider their timeline as far as how they're posting things, and how they're creating their videos, and the things that they're creating to show that they're actually getting the bookings or the clients that you are trying to go for as well. Number 3 is to assess. I want you to go back to your profile, assess the things that you have, and are they in alignment with the things that you actually want out there for your business? Or if you're an entrepreneur, the things that you value and the things that you're into that you want to be portrayed over to your potential clients. And also just to let them know that this is who this guy said he is. Do you want something on there that's not who you are, so it actually eliminates you from a second look from the client? Or do you want the things on there that is who you are, so it would take further consideration from the client, and once they get to know you, are exactly who you said that you are online? And number 4 and final is to transform. Is to transform your profile from what you don't want people to see to what you want people to see, but make sure that it is in alignment exactly who you are. So again, when you send it out, you're not getting ghosted, but you are getting booked. I hope this video was actually helpful. Again, hopefully this will actually touch an entrepreneur that's out there. Again, my name is Jay. I am a creative entrepreneur here in the Atlanta area and owner of J.August Media, where I believe that every creative has the right to showcase their work. But the biggest thing I want you to make sure that you guys take away from this is, if you're in business, you need to keep posting about your business to let people know that you're in business to do business. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.